The famed Vogue editor Anna Wintour looked visibly annoyed at Kim when she arrived extremely late to Paris Fashion Week over the weekend. Kim left guests waiting for her entrance at Victoria Beckham's Spring-Summer Show, which was held in an 18th century Parisian townhouse. This was once home to the late Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld. Along with Kris Jenner, Kim was seen awkwardly scuffling to her front row seat about 47 minutes after the show was due to begin, which caused a significant delay. The thing is that the organizers had to wait for her appearance before they could kick off the show, so it's no wonder that Anna was a little upset. I mean, she was almost an hour late. A video of the incident has since gone viral on Twitter, and it really put things into perspective. When Kim first arrives, she warmly greets David Beckham and seems to say something along the lines of, "I feel so bad." At this point, you can actually see Anna Wintour getting even more annoyed. She was sitting right next to David Beckham, and she very clearly chose not to welcome Kim as she walked in. Instead, she sat coldly with her arms crossed while she took a seat beside her. To make matters worse, there was another video filmed after this initial snubbing, and it looks like Anna chose to move seats momentarily right after Kim sat down. Even if that was just a pure coincidence, it seems like she was genuinely really upset and didn't even want to sit next to her anymore. Eventually, she does return to her seat though for the remainder of the show, which is when we see Kendall Jenner walking the runway. But what is it that actually happened here, and how did things get so awkward between them? As we know, Kim has worked with Anna several times over the years. In fact, she was on the cover of US Vogue like 3 times. But it has been said that their working relationship hit a very public road bump last year. Because last year at New York Fashion Week, a very similar thing happened where Anna appeared to snub Kim while she was greeting Sarah Jessica Parker. At that point, she completely ignored her even when she was standing right there. While it doesn't seem like Anna would go out of her way to be unkind to someone, being ignored like that can really hurt, and simply not acknowledging someone's presence generally tends to get your point across. To add to that, there were all these reports ahead of the 2023 Met Gala that she had decided to crack down on the guest list and not invite the Kardashians. Of course, Kim, Kendall, and Kylie still ended up scoring invites, but even then, people thought it was just in response to all the backlash. Since 1995, Anna has decided who makes the guest list for the gala, which is held annually on the first Monday in May, and it helps to raise funds for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. For years, the Kardashians have been invited and are well known for not disappointing in the wardrobe department, but for whatever reason, reports emerged that they were no longer going to be invited. Khloe has previously shut down rumors of not being invited to the gala. So back in 2019, she took to Twitter and responded to a fan who suggested that she might have gotten snubbed, and she said absolutely not true. Then during last year's series, The Kardashians on Disney+, she revealed that she turned down invitations in the past because of her anxiety of appearing on red carpets. Kim had a similar experience the first time she attended the Met in 2013. She said she actually cried after the event because she didn't know anyone and she was so sure that no one wanted her there. The thing is, she'd been trying to score an invite for years, but the fashion world did not accept her. And when that happens, there's no amount of money or fame that can help you. In Kim's case, it's because she just wasn't taken seriously. Even the late Karl Lagerfeld seemed to have an issue with her, and he had no problem discussing it. When Kim was robed in her Paris hotel room in 2016, Lagerfeld was one of the first people to criticize her. He spoke to The Telegraph and said, "I don't understand why she was in the hotel with no security. If you're that famous and you put all your jewelry on the internet, then you go to a hotel where no one can come near to the room. You cannot display your wealth and then be surprised that some people want to share it with you." Despite his harsh comments on what would have been a very traumatic experience, Kim still remembered him fondly when he passed away in 2019 at the age of 85. She posted photos of the two of them on Instagram and wrote, "We lost a true legend. You were such an inspiration to the world. You shot my first fashion shoot and I was so nervous to work with such an icon. The world is so much nicer because you existed. I am beyond honored to have met you and had the opportunity to work with you. You are so loved and will be missed." Although not everyone was happy with the way that she went about it, considering that most of the photos Kim posted were more like modeling photo shoots, and she neglected to include Karl's name in the caption. But hey, I guess it's the thought that counts. Did you hear what Kim Kardashian just said about Pete Davidson? On Thursday's episode of The Kardashians, Kim admitted to her sisters Kylie and Kendall that she jumped into another relationship so fast when she started dating Pete Davidson. This was right after her divorce from Kanye West. Looking back on that relationship now, Kim said, "It got my mind away from stuff, and that's not a way to run from things." She said she developed a new mantra and told her sisters, "It's better to deal Heal, then deal, heal, and then feel. Kim and Pete met on the set of Saturday Night Live. She later said that she felt a spark when they shared a kiss during their Aladdin comedy sketch, but their relationship was never very popular with fans. Some people thought it was a little cringy that Kim spilled a lot of details about their sex life. This was when she confirmed that Pete certainly does have that big D energy. While some people appreciated the honesty, others thought it was all a bit too much. Then there were the tattoos. Fans thought it was a huge red flag that Pete had tattoos of Kim at all 4 of her children, and now that they've broken up, it seems like it was a poorly thought out permanent decision. One of the tattoos he had dedicated to her said, "My girl is a lawyer," which he got to celebrate her passing of the baby bar. He also got the names Aladdin and Jasmine with an infinity pool between them, which is a reference to their first kiss on SNL. And he even got the initials of her 4 children in a tattoo that reads KNSCP. But of course, for her part, Kim didn't get any cheesy couple tattoos, and that really says a lot about the differences between them. But one of the biggest complications of their relationship was her ex Kanye West. For some reason, he was so threatened by the idea of his ex-wife moving on with Pete that he made it his mission to try to make his life hell. And at that point, it was probably easier for him to get out of the relationship than stick by it. Despite the controversy surrounding Kanye's actions, Kim now confesses that she doesn't want to look back at her experience with him negatively. In the latest episode of the show, she said, "I'm not going to take every experience and bad thing that happened to me and carry that into my life. What am I supposed to be learning from this? How is this going to make me a better person?" On last week's episode, she broke down in front of her sister Chloe over Kanye's outbursts. The main source of her pain was just seeing how different he had become. She says that she will always keep looking for that person that she married inside of him, even though he's so different now from who he was when he met her. She said she will always love and hold on to the Kanye who she remembers, and that she'll do anything to get that person back. Kim said, "I feel so bad for him. I don't even think he feels bad for himself because I don't even think he knows how." What became apparent though is that she hasn't spoken to him about his anti-Semitic online rants, just because she was worried that he will go off on her, which is really sad when you think about it. There doesn't seem to be any hope of the two of them reconciling, but the fact that Kim is still able to co-parent and just focus on the kids after everything that's happened is really incredible. So rumors have been swirling about Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady, despite there being virtually no evidence that they're in a secret relationship. Though we do know that they were at the same party over the July 4th weekend. Sources have now given mixed information about their supposed relationship, with many saying that the two stars are not actually dating, but others have suggested that there could be something going on, and there is certainly interest on Kim's side. Now, the celebrity gossip site Dumois shared a follower-submitted photo of them together at Michael Rubin's pre-4th of July party earlier this month. A source later spoke to Entertainment Tonight and said, "Kim and Tom spent time hanging out and talking at Michael Rubin's white party and having a good time together. It's been said that they were super flirty with each other and were seen during the day on the beach together and again dancing at night." Another source insisted that their time together was far more limited than it was made out to be, and that they barely even spoke at the party and just said hello. It was also said that later in the evening, Kim had some liquid courage and was overheard telling her friends that she had a crush on Tom, though others said that they are not romantically involved and they're just friends who have a lot of respect for each other, since Kim is focused on her kids right now and her business, and not really interested in a relationship. It was also said that Tom actually spent the evening with Emily Ratajkowski instead, and they were together most of the night. Quote, "They didn't leave together, but if anyone was getting close, it was them." With Kim though, the two of them have become pretty friendly recently, as it was said that she's looking to buy a vacation home in Tom's neighborhood at Baker's Bay and Gulf Ocean Club. The neighborhood is an exclusive members-only residential community in the Bahamas. Kim flew to the Bahamas just recently and was spotted touring the resort. A source close to the star told Page 6, "Kim and Tom are friendly. She phoned him and asked him for advice on Baker's Bay. She's very familiar with the community. She's been eyeing property there for quite some time. So if she moves to that neighborhood, maybe their friendship could turn into something more." When it comes to celebrity dating rumors, it can be so hard to separate what's true from what's just online gossip. The only thing we know for sure is that Kim and Tom are both newly single. The NFL star divorced his wife of 13 years, supermodel Giselle, in October of 2022, while Kim ended things with Pete Davidson in August that same year, after they had dated for 9 months. Since then, she's pretty much kept her dating life under wraps, only mentioning a mystery man named Fred on the Kardashians. She said that he measures up to all of her standards, and thanks to the show, we now have an extensive list of her preferences. She called it her manifest list, which features all the things she's looking for in her next romantic partner. The list is very extensive, and it goes like this. Number 1, protect me. Number 2, fight for me. Number 3, good hygiene. Number 4, calm. Number 5, no mom or or dad issues. 6 patient, 7 supportive, genuinely happy for me, successful and good teeth. She went on and said, spontaneous, fun, my friends and family love him, someone that can be a role model for my kids, especially that my boys can look up to. And no heavy baggage because I have enough. Taller than me, someone that likes to work out, a motivated person, and an independent person that's not clingy and has good taste. Then, once Kim was finally alone in a confessional, she added one more thing to that list, and it was no balding. Unsurprisingly, this seemed like it might have been a jab at her ex. As we know, Kanye has always worn a closely shaven head, and he eventually went fully bald in April, so it's easy to see why that comment might have come across as shade. On the flip side, if she is looking for someone with hair, then Tom Brady might just be the way to go. And now, why is Kim Kardashian being slammed as a bad actress? Well, it's all because of her performance on the new season of American Horror Story called Delicate, which is now being dragged by fans of the series. Kim has taken on her first scripted TV performance in the show where she plays a sassy publicist named Siobhan Corbin, but it appears some American Horror Story fans weren't really impressed with her acting chops because they then took to social media to express their distaste. And people did not hold back when it came to talking smack about her acting skills. They wrote things like, Kim sucks at acting, why is she on this? Ruined it for me. Another person wrote, I feel like I gave the new season of AHS a valiant, open-minded watch, but I can't. Kim K is an objectively terrible actress. But the good thing is that it wasn't all negative. In fact, some fans genuinely thought that she did a pretty good job. One person wrote, I don't care what people say, Kim Kardashian is doing amazing, sweetie. Mad props to her acting skills. Kim had a memorable first few lines in the episode called Multiply Their Pain as her character met with her client Anna Victoria Alcott, played by Emma Roberts. American Horror Story Delicate will return next week on the FX network, and fans of the show are super excited to see what happens with that. But Kim's acting is far from the only drama on set. In fact, her co-star Emma Roberts is now the latest celebrity to be outed as a bully in real life. Angelica Ross has been speaking about her experience filming American Horror Story 1984, and she's now decided to expose a lot of people involved with that, particularly Emma Roberts. She claimed that she irritated almost every actor on the set of the series. Angelica said, folks seemed like they wanted to fight her all the time because she was playing psychological games on set, like she was playing mind games with people. She also claimed that Emma was transphobic towards her, and she described an incident where the two of them were having a conversation with director John J. Gray, when Emma complained to him that she was being mean to her. Gray tried to defuse the situation by saying, okay ladies, that's enough, let's get back to work. To which Emma apparently said, don't you mean lady? Which obviously implies that Angelica was not a woman because she identifies as trans. When speaking about that incident, Angelica said, my blood is boiling because I'm like, if I say something, it's going to be me that's the problem. I know this because there was someone who spoke up about what she was doing and they got repercussions from it. Not her, they did. So she chose not to report it because she felt that she would be retaliated against. After that incident, apparently the two of them didn't speak for the rest of their time filming. Elsewhere in her live, Angelica claimed that Emma yelled at directors and tried to compare salaries with her co-stars, all because she was trying to make it very clear that she was number one on the call sheet and she was the one in charge. Now, as shocking as that story was, there has been an update since we heard it. So Emma Roberts got word of that story and decided to apologize. Angelica said that Emma contacted her to talk about what went down. She jumped back on social media and thanked Emma for hitting her up and recognizing that her behavior was not that of an ally. She said, I will leave the line open to follow up on your desire to do better and support social justice causes with your platform. But clearly a lot of fans have a hard time believing that she was genuinely sorry for making those horrible comments in the first place. Moving on, Kim Kardashian just said something that Kourtney Kardashian really did not want to hear. The sisters were fighting once again in the season 4 premiere of The Kardashians, when they were watching edits from their arguments in the previous season. And right away, you could tell that Kourtney was getting fired up. She said, it makes me not want to be around, and that's totally your choice and decision. I just think we should have a conversation about it because nothing happened at the wedding. Nothing was a conversation at the wedding. Then they go back and forth about last season's argument over Kim's campaign with Dolce & Gabbana. Kourtney then said that Kim has an egotistical, selfish mind, and in response, she said that her sister is just different now. Quote, you're just different. You hate us, you're a different person, we all talk about it. Then Kourtney said, Why? Because I don't need you guys anymore? I don't need to be a part of it. And this is when things got really heated, because Kim said that all of Kourtney's friends have called her to complain about her. She said, "We were all concerned. We all think that you're just really not happy." Kourtney then insisted that she does in fact have a happy life, but the happiness only comes in when she finally gets away from her family. So the conversation here takes a big turn when Kim tells her that her own kids have even come to her with problems that they have with how she is. And that's really the sentence that seems to break Kourtney, because she completely snaps. She tells Kim, "Is that helpful? You're like adding it into a fight to have a side, like it's you and my friends and my kids and everyone against me. Like you're just an effing witch and I hate you." So this fight was pure and utter chaos, and just goes to show how strained the relationship between Kim and Kourtney has become. I mean, it's nothing short of toxic. So their last fight happened when Kourtney got upset that Kim was doing the Dolce & Gabbana show. In the scene, she was sitting across from Kendall and talking about Kim's role in the show. She then puts her face in her hands and starts to cry, saying she sees it as a dollar sign. "Sorry, it just upsets me, because it's not just about business. It's legit copying my wedding." Later on in the interview, Kim asks her if she's mad, and she seems to genuinely be thrown off by the whole question. The issue between Kim and Kourtney started at her wedding to Travis Barker. So Dolce & Gabbana designed her wedding dress when she was married to him for a third time in May of 2022. Shortly after their wedding, Kim created a collaboration with them, and she made a very memorable appearance at their show during Milan Fashion Week. Then in a confessional, Kourtney said, "My sister used my wedding as a business opportunity." So she thinks that Kim stole some of her limelight just to be able to profit off of that same brand. And at this point, Kendall seemed to side with Kourtney because she said that her wedding vibes were stripped from her, whereas Kim had no idea how they even came to this conclusion. She said, "I'm really confused at how this narrative came into her head. I couldn't have been any more mindful. I said, don't do anything Kourtney wore to her wedding." But apparently things got so bad that Kourtney removed herself from all 4 of their family group chat, which means that she was genuinely really upset about this whole collaboration. Thankfully, Kim did speak a little bit about this fight recently, and she said that she and Kourtney have smoothed things over. Quote, "We've been there before and we'll always be okay. We're always family. That's just how we were raised." So it turns out that the actual show created a lot of these arguments between them. Kim said, "You film it, you think you're all good, we make up, and then you edit it, and I'm seeing all these things that she said behind my back, and she's saying all these things that I'm saying behind her back, and the tension rises all over again. It gets really tricky and it gets really emotional. But at the end of the day, we still love sharing our life." So hopefully that's just what's going to happen this time around as well. When it comes to their show, some of their fights are very clearly just made up for the cameras, but sometimes you can actually tell that the sisters have real beef with each other, and that's when things get really interesting. Speaking of cameras and Kim Kardashian, the new season of American Horror Story is turning out to be pretty scandalous. For some reason, the writers have decided to take shots at Olivia Wilde and accused her of gaslighting people over the Don't Worry Darling press tour drama. The AHS story follows Emma Roberts' Anna, who is an actress desperate to have a baby and an Oscar. Alongside her is Kim Kardashian, who plays Siobhan, her publicist, and she is helping her through it and attempting to manage her public image along the way. So in episode 2, Anna experiences a horrific vomiting episode on stage while accepting a Gotham Award. Mortified and panicking about what her next move will be, she looks to Siobhan for help. She then gets in full Kris Jenner mode and suggests that they pull a wild card. While the Don't Worry Darling premiere is not mentioned by name, it's not hard to see exactly what they're referring to. She literally says, "We are going to pull a wild card," as in Olivia Wilde. Siobhan explains it by saying, "Don't mention what happened and wait until everyone forgets. / low-key gaslight people that do ask and make them think that they're the problem because, you know, sexism." So for those who aren't well versed on the Don't Worry Darling drama, here's basically what happened. Reports of conflict between Olivia and the film's lead Florence Pugh came out, and that was seemingly fueled by the fact that Olivia and Harry Styles started dating during filming. Rumors then started circulating that Olivia was not always present on set because of her relationship with Harry, and the fact that Florence did nothing to promote the film added even more fuel to the fire. All the rumors then led to a huge amount of backlash towards Olivia on social media, which many people claimed was rooted in sexism. During the film's press tour, she vaguely addressed the barrage of questions about some of the rumors, but she mostly just ignored it all. And now, over a year after it all happened, AHS is shading the hell out of Olivia's response, and it's hilarious. Unsurprisingly, people have some thoughts about what the show decided to do. They tweeted things like, "Kim K's Olivia Wilde line on AHS Delicate shocked me," and "Play the Olivia Wilde card. Hook up with an actor in a movie we're directing while neglecting the movie itself." But of course, not everyone joined in on the hate train. There were also a lot of people coming to her defense. One person criticized the writers for dragging a woman who's already been relentlessly publicly shamed, all just to get some headlines for the show. To add to that, they insinuated that sexism is overused as a justification. So there's really no doubt that the line was a little problematic. From a social media standpoint, it definitely worked. There are now more people talking about American Horror Story than ever before, and realistically, we all know that the show kind of went downhill after season 3, so it's not that surprising that the writers are willing to do pretty much anything to get people hyped for this season. That's probably why they cast Kim Kardashian as well. Number 10. Diet suppressant lollipops. The reality star came under fire for promoting Flat Tummy Co.'s appetite suppressant lollipops to her millions of Instagram followers. She posted a picture of herself with the Diet Aid candy and wrote, "They're literally unreal." While Kim has posted sponsored ads for weight loss products before, things like meal replacement shakes, the whole appetite suppressant thing falls into a different, far more contentious category. The lollipops contain satiril, which is an extract from natural plants that is said to control cravings, food intake, and weight. But while the active ingredient is technically safe, many nutrition experts agree that appetite suppressants are a short-term, ultimately ineffective diet strategy that can promote harmful eating habits and exacerbate already existing disorders. And the fact that the product comes in lollipop form seems like it's geared towards a younger consumer, which just makes it all the more troubling. Manhattan-based nutritionist Maria Marlowe criticized the move and said, "Kim is an incredible marketer and brander, and many young women look up to her, but this is sending the wrong messages, that being hungry is bad, that our bodies need to be controlled, that our route to an ideal body comes in candy form. Not only that, but relying on a suppressant is a distraction from focusing on a healthy diet and exercise. So yes, it's not a great option in the long term." Number 9. Damaging Marilyn Monroe's dress. Although Kim is used to making questionable fashion choices, many felt that she sank to a new low when she decided to wear the famous Marilyn dress. This historical item was actually worn by Marilyn Monroe herself while she was singing Happy Birthday to President Kennedy in 1962. It was lent out to her by Ripley's Museum. Scott Fortner, a collector who shared photos of the dress in a blog post after Kim had returned it, said that the dress appeared to show stretched fabric and missing crystals on the back. Not only that, but while being interviewed on the red carpet, Kim said that when she first tried the dress on, it didn't actually fit her. So to ensure that the delicate fabric wouldn't tear, she dropped 16 pounds ahead of the event in order to squeeze into it. She then changed into a replica once she got to the entrance of the party because she couldn't walk up the museum steps of the Met Gala without ripping the original. But the fact that she was even allowed to wear it was enough to anger fans everywhere. It was bought by the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in a 2016 auction for $4.8 million, and it's usually kept in a darkened, temperature-controlled vault at 40 to 50% humidity to preserve the delicate fabric. So of course people were fuming that Kim permanently damaged the dress, especially because when you consider the design of it, the fabric is quite literally irreparable. Number 8. The 72-day marriage. Kim's union with NBA player Kris Humphries went down in history as one of the shortest marriages in Hollywood. This led fans to question whether or not it was made for TV, especially after the 2-part E! Special called Kim's Fairy Tale Wedding. The Los Angeles Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on the show. But in 2017, the reality star admitted to Andy Cohen that she knew the marriage was doomed from the beginning. It turns out that she only rushed into it because of the pressure of turning 30. There were also signs that their marriage was going to end quickly. A few days before Kim divorced Kris on date 68, the couple were spotted arguing in their car while they were out on a dinner date in Hollywood. They were photographed heading back to Kim's car, and you could visibly see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up, and Kim was giving him the death stare while yelling and waving her hands. This was a very public fight, and it was indicative that their relationship was on the rocks. In the divorce, Kris asked for a $7 million settlement, otherwise he threatened to make Kim go through a very ugly public trial, but he ended up walking away with literally nothing. Number 7. Lying about the tape. Last September, Kris Jenner went on the Late Late Show with James Corden, where she was strapped to a lie detector test and interviewed about the infamous tape that was released in 2007 of Kim Kardashian and Ray J. Kris denied the years-long speculation that she was involved in its production, and once the results came back, it seemed as though she was telling the truth. Of course, Kim kept up this narrative too, but neither of them expected Ray J to respond to the interview. He appeared on Instagram Live with a full presentation to prove that she was lying. He showed screenshots of text messages that Kanye had sent him asking for the original tapes because he wanted to give them back to Kim. In the messages, Kanye asks if there is a time that the two of them can talk or meet up to discuss the matter further, and in response, Ray J said, "I've got 2 kids and a tech company. Why would I involve myself in this? I'm so past this, bro. I'm assuming you know the full story from 05, right? How it happened, who brokered the deal, who put it all together." This is when Ray J made the most shocking revelation ever. He said, "Kris Jenner is the one who made us shoot the second tape in Santa Barbara." He claimed that Kris orchestrated the filming of the last tape and even watched them both to decide decide which one was best. Number 6. Buying historical artifacts. The reality star came under fire after she bought the iconic cross necklace that was worn by Princess Diana for $197,000. 4 people competed in a bidding war, but Kim ended up winning the auction after 5 minutes. The amethyst cross is a 1920s pendant by luxury jewelry designer Gerard, which Diana wore on many occasions. The cross-shaped pendant features large amethyst stones framed by 5.2 carat diamonds. After news of the purchase came out, Kim started trending on Twitter, and everyone was jumping in to create their very own Kim Kardashian has purchased meme as a way to make fun of all the historical artifacts that she's bought. Some of the best memes include Kim Kardashian has purchased Hilaria Baldwin's fake Spanish accent for $97,600. Another user tweeted, Kim Kardashian has purchased the well-known sailboat from The Last of Us Part 2 for $1.3 million, saying, quote, "It's such an iconic part of the game." Someone else tweeted, Kim Kardashian has purchased an Olympic gold medal for $10. And they quote Kim as saying, "I just did what had to be done." Number 5. Lottery scam. Kim and Scott Disick were being sued for $40 million after they were accused of hatching a contest scam and fooling innocent people. The lawsuit alleges that the two of them created a fake lottery in 2020 and announced that the winner will get $100,000 and 2 first-class tickets to LA, as well as a 3-night stay in Beverly Hills, and they could shop like Kim. But turned out this was all fake. The filing claims that Kim and Scott worked with an Australian company called Curated to sell the personal information of the players to advertisers. Apparently, the winners of the contest were announced, but their Instagram handles were quickly made private, which raised a few red flags. The people that did enter the contest and lost were then invaded by hundreds of advertisers, soliciting them with potentially offensive and unwanted content. However, the Australian company has said that the contest is legitimate and that there is legal paperwork to back it, even claiming that the winners have received their prizes. So far, both Kim and Scott have yet to comment on that lawsuit. Number 4. Stolen wages. Kim has been sued by members of her Hidden Hills staff for alleged unpaid wages, which she seemingly denied. Her maintenance and cleaning crews are the ones who have joined forces to file a lawsuit against her. According to TMZ, Kim's employees chose to take legal action after she allegedly failed to pay wages, provide meal breaks, and cover expenses, in addition to allegedly withholding 10% of their money for taxes without reporting their employment to tax authorities. The legal documents showed that the allegations came from 7 staffers who worked for her at her Hidden Hills home, and they claimed that they were hired as full-time employees. In the documents, the workers specifically alleged that they were not given pay stubs and were not paid on a regular schedule. They were also not provided with a system to record their hours, meaning that they would not get paid for all of their hours, including overtime. However, Kim believes that she is not the one to blame for their issues, and she claims that she hired a third-party vendor to tackle the maintenance and cleaning services, so it's most likely that she'll get off the hook for this one. Number 3. Trademark infringement. Sydney Lunsford, the owner of esthetician studio Beauty Concepts, claims to have owned an SKKN trademark since 2018, which she feels is very similar to Kim's new SKKN skincare brand. So the reality star got sued for trademark infringement. Cindy claimed that her own company conducted business continuously under that name since at least August of 2018. But in a statement to Page 6, Kim's lawyer Michael Rhodes says that the lawsuit is nothing more than a shakedown effort, and that it's less about trademark law and more of a cash grab. He said, "This lawsuit is not what it seems. We applaud Miss Lunsford for being a small business owner and following her dreams, but that doesn't give her the right to wrongfully claim that we've done something wrong." And because Sydney's SKKN studio was a one-person appointment-only shop that offers facials from a single location with no signage, it's likely that she doesn't have enough to prove her case. Number 2. Crying over a lost earring. The Kardashians have been on some pretty fancy vacations over the years, but they haven't always had the best of luck when they've traveled. Kim was famously robbed in a Paris hotel room in 2016, and she had to hand over millions of dollars worth of jewelry to armed intruders. At that point, many fans sympathized with her and what would have been a horrible experience, but at other moments, she became the butt of the joke. Like when she cried like a baby over losing an earring in the ocean. She was visiting Bora Bora at the time along with her ex-husband Chris Humphries. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, he tosses her into the ocean before she has the chance to remove a pair of diamond studs worth $75,000 apiece. When she realizes one is missing, she breaks down in tears, and that's when Kourtney comes through with an iconic response. She says, "Kim, there's people that are dying." The missing earring was eventually found, but Kim's reaction would go on to last forever in the form of a meme. And coming in at number 1, cultural appropriation. Kim has long been accused of using other cultures as a part of her brand and identity, leveraging it for the creation of a fashion empire. She's been called out for this many times. She wore a style of Fulani braids which have roots in West Africa and attributed the style to Bo Derek, rhetoric. Speaking to Jeremy O'Harris for ID Magazine, Kim said, "Obviously, I would never do anything to appropriate any culture, but I have in the past got backlash from putting my hair in braids, and I understand that. Honestly, a lot of the time it comes from my daughter asking us to do matching hair." On the other hand, she also insists that she's had certain conversations with North about which hairstyles they can both do. Kim has also been accused of deliberately darkening her skin for a 2017 KKW beauty campaign. In response, she told the New York Times that she would obviously never want to offend anyone, and she later ended up replacing those photos. But even her shapewear line Skims has come under fire for cultural appropriation ahead of its launch. In the end though, it found a strong base of customers who wanted Kim's hourglass shape for themselves.
Number 10. Van Jones. A couple years ago, there was a rumor going around about the true nature of the relationship between Kim and Van Jones, the news commentator. The rumors began just months after Kim filed for divorce from her then husband Kanye West. Van, on the other hand, had split up from his wife Jana Carter in 2018. The two have been good friends over the years as Kim worked on her studies to become a lawyer, and with Van having a law degree from Yale. As the rumors started to spread as to if they could be a couple at the time, one fan wrote on Twitter, "People are going to look at Kim as using Kanye to advance her in the fashion world, and as using Van Jones to help her advance in her next career field in law." Another added, "I really hope Kim Kardashian is actually dating Van Jones. She would have her Legally Blonde where she dumps Warren at the end and starts dating Luke Wilson." All these speculations started to really grow throughout fans on social media. Van addressed the rumors during an interview with Page 6. He said, "I never made any comments about the rumors of me and Kim dating as I just found it absurd." Going on to say, "It was flattering to me, but it probably wasn't flattering for her." When Kim was asked about the dating allegations, she said, "So many people asked me and I was like, you guys, I need a minute before I'm out there." She even went on to say, "Van texted me and was like, this rumor has gotten me so many dates and I'm so grateful, so I owe you." Though they have been debunked at the time, this could now be their chance, as they are still considered to be quite close. When Van was talking about Kim more recently, he complimented her intelligence, saying her dad was a lawyer and she always wanted to be a lawyer, so when she got a taste of what she could do by using her platform, using her brain, she hasn't let up. Number 9. Meek Mill. Meek and Kim have been friends over the years, but her ex-husband wasn't loving it at the time. The two met back in 2018 to discuss prison reform, but speculations about their relationship started circulating after Kanye posted some interesting tweets. According to TMZ, Kanye tweeted, "I have been trying to get divorced since Kim met Meek at the Waldorf for prison reform. Meek is my man and has been respectful. That's my dog. Kim was out of the line." Clearly implying that something other than friendship and prison reform discussion was going on. Regardless of this, the two have allegedly stayed close friends over the years, but since she's single now, could she be looking for something a little bit more? A music industry insider told the press, "Kim and Meek have been in contact. I was with him and he was texting her. I don't know what it was about, but he was acting like it was personal." Back in January, a few media sources even allegedly gained access to proof that Kim took her private jet to Philadelphia, which is his hometown. Number 8, we have Kanye West. Okay, so I know he is allegedly married now in a private ceremony to Bianca Censori, but you never know. Rumors were circulating a year after their divorce that the two had actually maybe gotten back together briefly. And I mean, if they did it once, who's to say they won't do it again? A few Kardashian fans thought they noticed a sign when the two had reconciled just a year ago. It was during Kim's launch for her skincare line. Though it was pretty star-studded event, Kanye wasn't there, but many thought he was maybe there in spirit with Kim's outfit. During the event, she wore a strapless silver metallic dress with a thigh-high slip paired with matching boots. A few fans thought that this was for Kanye, since it looked to be influenced by Channing Jones, who Kanye was seeing at the time. Channing wore nearly the exact same outfit, but just slightly different not long before. More fan speculation started surrounding the two when Kim gave Kanye credit for helping her with her skincare line. On Instagram at the time, she wrote, "My creative process wouldn't have been complete, and I always give credit where credit is due, without Kanye." Going on to say, "He brought his team and we came up with the name. That was actually his idea, and the packaging shapes were his, and even the font we did, just like Skims." Around the same time, another theory came out about the two after they were spotted wearing the same hat just days within each other. One fan wrote at the time, "Kim is wearing the same hat that Kanye had on a few days ago. I tell you, Kim Ye is still alive." Another noted, regardless if it's actually his hat or not, this was definitely a strategic move. With this being less than a year ago, is there a possibility that they could get back together in the future? I mean, if anything, we know they still see each other as they have to co-parent, so who knows? Number 9, Tristan Thompson. This one is a tricky one since Tristan is actually Khloe Kardashian's ex. The two split up after Tristan revealed that he was the father of a child he had with another woman during their relationship. And just being a serial cheater. He wrote at the time, "I take full responsibility for my actions. I sincerely apologize to everyone I've hurt or disappointed throughout this ordeal, both publicly and privately." Going on to write, "Khloe, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve the heartache and the humiliation I have caused you." After this, the family tried to give him a second chance for Khloe and their shared daughter's sake. But after kissing Jordan Woods, that was kind of it for the couple. Despite all of this, Kim and Tristan have oddly enough stayed friends, but it's been complicated and has definitely had its ups and downs. She even gave him a birthday shout out for his 29th, writing, "Cheering loud for you today. Can't wait to celebrate soon." Even just a few days ago, Kim was seen at the LA Lakers playoff game, cheering Tristan on with her daughter North. Though fans speculate she could be hinting that maybe Khloe is getting back with her ex, others believe that she could be more into him herself. Number 6. Nick Cannon. Nick and Kim already have a little bit of a history. They started dating back in 2006 when Kim was still up and coming in the world of showbiz. But by 2007, Kim was getting way more recognized, and that was of course because of the leak sex tape with her former boyfriend Ray J. A month before the controversy became public news, Nick broke off his relationship with Kim. He claimed the reason for the breakup was because she denied its existence, and claimed that she had actually lost the tape. When discussing this later, he explained in an interview, "Things could have been different, but the fact that she didn't necessarily keep it on an honest level with me kind of rubbed me in the wrong way." Though in other interviews, he claims that she broke up with him, leaving him heartbroken. He shared during an interview with Drink Champs, "We were kids, we were young, I was really into her and I was vibing. She's an amazing person." But just less than a year ago, it seems he could be willing to give it another chance with the star. During an interview with Hot Tea Podcast, he shared, "It's all love, but that's just Kim Kardashian. I definitely spin the block. I'm not messy, I'm patient, let's just say that." Number 5, you have Chris Evans. Oddsharks came out with the odds for who will be Kim's next boyfriend pretty quickly after the split with Pete Davidson. But one of the more interesting names on the list is the Cincinnati Bengals running back Chris Evans. When the list came out, Chris responded to it on his Twitter. After sharing the list, he captioned it with the eyes emoji and the thinking emoji, looking to be kind of unsure about this. One fan commented, "Shoot your shot, bro." Another added, "You got something you want to tell us?" But others were unsure, worrying about the alleged Kardashian curse. The Kardashian curse is a term used to describe the bad luck that seems to follow anyone that gets too close to the sisters. Kylie even commented on this curse during an interview and said, "It's not just men, it's friends. It's people who come in and don't know how to handle it. It's all negative." She went on to say, "There's a lot of people who love us, but there's also a huge handful of people who don't." Because of this fan theory, some users even worried for Chris and his team. One Twitter user wrote, "Don't you dare attempt to drag the Kardashian curse to the Bengals." Another added, "Stay away, you don't want that Kardashian curse." Number 4, Lonnie Walker. Kim has been spotted at back-to-back appearances at recent Laker games, but could this mean something more? She was seen courtside supporting Tristan wearing a shirt that read, "I love nerds." A social media user posted a clip of Kim cheering throughout the game with the caption, "Best Lakers game. Kim stole the show." The TikTok user included the hashtags Lonnie Walker. The post got quite a bit of attention, with many users speculating that she could be dating him. With one user commented, "I've been thinking, why all of a sudden is she going to the Lakers games? She used to never go." Another added, "She's been at a lot of games lately. Look at Kim sitting courtside scouting Lonnie Walker." Others did point out that he does have a girlfriend, but looks like that can't stop some fans from believing this could be the next Hollywood couple. Number 3, Jamie Foxx. Jamie, who is currently undergoing physical rehab in Chicago after having a medical emergency, still finds himself in the midst of dating rumors. Jamie famously was with Katie Holmes for 6 years before calling it quits. Since this, he's been linked to multiple women over the years, but is reportedly now single. Though the two have never been connected in the past, it's clear a few people could see this as one relationship that could work out. With Oddsharks betting on who will Kim date next, they currently have Jamie placed at number 4, but what do you guys think? Luckily, it seems Jamie is feeling better after writing on his Instagram, "Appreciate all the love, feeling blessed." Maybe as time goes on, we could see these two becoming something in the future. Number 2, Pete Davidson. Pete and Kim were originally brought together after working together on SNL in October 2021. In one segment, they even ended up kissing in a scene as Aladdin and Jasmine. She said at the time, "It was a stage kiss, but it was still like a little zing." A source told People, "Pete is exactly what Kim needed after her divorce." Going on to say, "Someone to make her laugh and just have a fun time time with. The couple ended up being together for about 9 months. A source shared to People part of the reason they split was because of their busy schedules. They both travel all the time and it was hard. But after they were spotted talking at the Met Gala, could they be considering rekindling their relationship? They looked to be having a pretty lively conversation judging by the photos. And they actually went together to the Met Gala just last year, so all eyes were on them as they reunited at the star-studded event. Though some fans are convinced that the pair are just friends, others are saying that the 2022 vibes are very real. Reportedly, the two have had a lot of love and respect for each other, so maybe once they have more time in their busy schedules, something could come of this again. And at number 1, we have Tom Brady. Okay, so this is the newest one that has had many fans talking. Could Kim already be dating Tom Brady? Kim and Tom have been pretty friendly as she looks to buy a vacation home in his neighborhood at Baker's Bay and Gulf Ocean Club. The neighborhood is an exclusive members-only residential community in the Bahamas. Kim flew to the Bahamas just recently and was spotted touring the resort. A source close to the star told Page 6, Kim and Tom are friendly. She phoned him and asked him for his advice on Baker's Bay. Another source revealed she's very familiar with the community. She's been eyeing up property there for quite some time. Other insiders have come forward since these speculations continue to circulate and claim that they do know each other, but they aren't romantically involved. But who's to say? Maybe if she moves to the neighborhood, maybe their friendship could turn into something more. A source close to Kim told the press she is open to dating someone who isn't famous, but realizes it could be tough for the guy if he isn't used to that. Going on to say everybody wants to set her up, but she thinks it will happen organically. Getting caught in a lie is definitely an awkward experience that Kim Kardashian has fallen victim to over the years. Number 10, the second tape. Ray J's former manager came in hot a couple years ago, accusing Kim of lying about her second alleged sex tape. The original tape of Ray J and Kim was released in 2007, and many believe this was Kim's kickstart for her and her family's careers. But as so many years have gone by, you would think this drama would be more or less over, but you would be wrong. The former manager, Whack 100, shared in a podcast in 2021 that he has a second, more graphic version of the tape. And after a suspected sneak peek was released of the teaser clip, he commented on a video of TMZ discussing it, saying, "Now I'm confused. First, Kim's attorney said I'm lying, this doesn't exist. Second, now Kim is saying she's blocking us and releasing it. So now I guess she's admitting she and her team have been lying." Kim had some thoughts about these accusations though. During a teaser clip for her new season of her reality show, she tells her attorney, "Over my dead body is this happening again. I know the right attorneys this time and I'm not gonna let this happen to me again." Going on to say, "I have all the time, all the money, and all the resources to burn them all to the effing ground." Kim has never fully said there isn't a second tape, but her spokesperson told the press last year, Kim remains firm in her belief that there is no new second tape that exists. Going on to add, after 20 years, she truly wishes to move on from this chapter and focus instead on the positive things she continues to do as a mother, entrepreneur, and advocate for justice reform. Number 9, her natural hair. Is Kim's waist-length hair really all natural? Many believe there's absolutely no way. After photos were shared on Kourtney Kardashian's Poosh Instagram account, internet critics believe she was lying about how natural her hair really is. The post was all about how to achieve natural hair growth, but many Instagram users just didn't buy it. Poosh posted 3 photos of Kim showing her long, healthy-looking hair. The brand captioned the photos with, "What all-natural ingredient does Kim swear by for hair growth?" We're sharing the secret to her luscious locks at the link in our bio. A few began believing that she could actually be wearing a wig for this photo shoot, and brought up how much damage she has done to her hair over the years, which wouldn't result in hair that looks so healthy like that. One social media user wrote, "LOL, she's literally wearing a wig in this photo. Kim has been practically bald since the Met last year when she fried her hair with bleach." Another user joked by saying, "I'm sure her extensions are human hair, so technically it is all natural. Gotta find those baby bar loopholes." Number 8, Northwest. Parents embellishing their children isn't usually looked at too deeply, but did Kim go too far when talking about her daughter North? Kim shared a short video on Instagram with the caption, "How sweet is North surprising me tonight with this for us to relax before the Met." The clip showed a room lit by white candles and matching white roses with petals all over the floor, and balloon letters which spelled out the words Karl Lagerfeld Met Gala, just above 2 massage beds. But fans were unsure that a 9-year-old would think to do this pretty lavish situation. One Reddit user posted a screenshot of the story and said, "There is no way North would do this." Another commented, "Why do adults lie? Even when they certainly don't have to. I don't get it. You have all the money, why still lie?" One other Reddit user questioned how North would even go about doing this at all, and wrote, "How would North even arrange that? What 9-year-old would call the front desk requesting massages, specific Met Gala balloons, white floral arrangements, and 30 candles?" What do you guys think? Is this just another case of Kim getting caught in a lie? Number 7. The bag reveal. Kim has claimed in the past her lashes are all natural, but after spotting some interesting products in her cosmetic bag, fans aren't so sure. Kim shared to her fans what's in her Chanel bag while she travels. She showed viewers brands like Neutrogena, Secret, and Latisse. While many were surprised she was using brands that are easily found at any local store, others believed they caught the star in another lie. Kim has shared before that she only ever uses a drop of mascara and that her eyelashes are completely natural, but Latisse is a product that helps with eyelash growth. One fan immediately called out the star and wrote, "Kim's showing us she uses Latisse eyelash growth after claiming she doesn't." Not only that, but the social media users didn't believe that she actually uses drugstore products in her day-to-day life, considering just how wealthy she is. One user joked, "Behold the bag of a billionaire, they're just like us." Number 6. The dress. The Marilyn Monroe dresses have been the root of a lot of controversy for Kim. We all know about the one she wore to the Met Gala, but what about the green sequin dress? Kim uploaded a series of photos last year that showed her in Marilyn's green dress while holding a Golden Globes award. Marilyn wore this dress during the Golden Globes back in 1962. Kim captioned her photos by saying, "In my quest to find the Jean-Louis hand-beaded dress that I wore to the gala, I discovered Heritage Auctions owned Marilyn's iconic green sequin dress." Going on to say, "Further into my research, I found that the owner of the Golden Globe that she received that evening was none other than my friend Jeff Letham." In an interview with Vogue, she claimed to own 3 replicas of Marilyn's dresses, claiming to have the green sequin dress, the Mr. President Happy Birthday dress, and another unnamed one. But this left users of the Marilyn Monroe fan page kind of confused. The fan page questioned Kim and wrote, "Who is it that actually owns Marilyn's 1962 Golden Globes gown? First you say it was Julian's Auctions, and then you updated your post to say it was Heritage Auctions." Another user begged for the star to stop claiming she could fit into these iconic dresses, and commented, "Time to call off the charade. You couldn't fit into the JFK dress, which we now know, and you couldn't fit into the Golden Globes dress." One other Marilyn Monroe fan worried about the dress, fearing it had been changed since it was owned by the star in the 60s, and wrote, "The dress doesn't look the exact same. The back is different. Was it altered?" After the backlash she received over wearing the dress, I can't imagine she will wear one of her dresses in the future, replica or not. Number 5. Photoshop. Photoshop drama has followed Kim for ages as to if she does or doesn't use it. Though she has been caught in the act a few times, the recent post to promote her Skims bikini has outraged fans. She captioned the photo with, "I just try on Skims, swim, and pray it doesn't rain forever in LA." The photo shows Kim posing in front of a mirror in her bathroom in the bikini, but internet critics have claimed that the whole thing looks pretty distorted. One user wrote, "Am I the only one burnt out on Photoshop Kim? The amount of editing is absurd. Just post a regular pic, nobody cares you're in your 40s. Another added, "I wonder if she realizes how badly her photos are photoshopped." One other fan even claimed it was so badly photoshopped that she looks like she's missing her middle finger on the hand holding the phone for the selfie. They commented, "Why was this picture edited so much? Right side finger looks erased and the inner thighs on the left are pixelated due to trims." Number 4. Weight loss. Has Kim lied about her weight loss in the past? Before showing up to the Met in Marilyn's dress, Kim told fans that she had followed a strict diet, losing 16 pounds in order to fit into the gown. Kim showed her fans her body scan on her Instagram story, and of course it was analyzed pretty fast. Kim explained that a year ago her body fat percentage was at 25% and now it's 18.8%. But after it got reposted in a Kardashian Reddit board, people began noticing her lie. A Redditor wrote, "According to this, Kim is 10 pounds lighter than she was last year. So much for that, I lost 16 pounds to fit into Marilyn's dress." Another user questioned Kim and wrote, "Didn't she say she continued on her fat loss journey and lost about 20 plus pounds?" Going on to say, "It's just a never-ending loop of lies with this family." Number 3. The fillers. Last year, Kim was asked if she ever had filler or Botox. She responded by saying, "I've had a little bit of Botox, but I've chilled actually. But no filler, I've never had filler in my cheeks, I've never filled my lips." But after downplaying her cosmetic procedures that fans believe she has had done, it's faced a bit of backlash. Even when Kim was pressed more about the details of filler or even eyelash extensions, she continued to deny and claimed her look was attainable. But it looks like the truth is really coming out now. Jessica DeFino, the beauty editor who used to work as an assistant editor for the Kardashians app, came forward to share the truth about the family. She tweeted, "Remembering that time I was on a press trip with a Allure editor and Kim's go-to cosmetic injector. The injector told us everything she's done to Kim's face off the record." Going on to say, "Obviously I understand the site can't publish that, but it shouldn't publish lies either." Jessica claimed that Kim was promoting the lie that anyone can look like a Kardashian. Jessica explained further her feelings on Allure publishing this reportedly false story, saying, "The tone says this story is probably full of harmful lies, but we're going to let Kim have the final word, publish it, and profit from the clicks and affiliate sales anyways." Number 2. No grays. Do you believe Kim has ever had a gray hair in her life? During an appearance on Live with Kelly and Ryan, Kim claimed that she never found a gray hair on her head ever. This all started when Ryan asked Kim how she keeps up with her platinum hair, trying to push to see how much work really goes into keeping up with bleaching your roots. Kim said at the time, "When I dye my roots, it's going to take probably 8 hours, so I've been lazy. It's so much work." But after moving towards the topic of grays, Kim shared, "I have not gone gray yet. I haven't had one gray hair yet. Isn't that weird?" But according to an expert, this is highly unlikely. Madeline Preston told Cosmopolitan, "The majority of women are bound to see a few grayed hairs in their 30s, and by the age of 50, most would expect to have more than 50% of their scalp turn gray." Though of course it's different for everybody, Kim was caught in this lie. After fans went back and did some research, Kim actually shared that she got her first gray at 37, and she oddly enough shared this info on Live with Kelly and Ryan. During that time, she said how stressful it was coming to the defense of her then husband Kanye West when he was receiving so much backlash. She explained, "I will say he gave me my first gray this week, and I'm blaming that on him." After being caught in this lie, one user wrote on social media, "What a weird thing to lie about. I got my first gray at like 24. Another added, "Is this an attempt at a flex?" And at number 1, we have the sleep schedule. Kim shared on her Instagram story her sleep report. She captioned the screenshot with, "Great sleep score today. I finally got my heart rate down at night and my HRV up, and it feels so good." The photos showed that she scored in nearly 100% in readiness and landed at a 94% in sleep. The report said, "Seems like you've been getting the right amount of sleep lately." In an interview not long before this post, Kim went through her morning routine. She revealed, "On a general day, I wake up at 5:45 a.m. for my workout at 6, and I'll pick up my workout clothes the night before." Going on to say, "I keep it basic and pretty much wear the same thing all the time, and then I work out for an hour." But after this, fans took a little look into her sleep report, and they had some questions about how legit her early morning workout really was. One user wrote, "Kim always says she wakes up at around 4 or 5 to work out, but every time she posts these things she actually wakes up way later. What is the truth, Kimberly?" Another added, "She's lying, and these aren't actually her screenshots but what the company tells her to post." One fan even questioned the star, writing, "Who the heck sleeps for 9 hours with 4 kids?"
Being rich and famous, you could pretty much buy anything you want. This includes objects other famous people had, as it appears that the price tag has no limits. Kim Kardashian has been at the center of the latest viral meme after purchasing an iconic cross necklace previously worn by Princess Diana for $197,000. Kim has been trending on social media over the huge amount of memes on Twitter, which begin with "Kim Kardashian has purchased." So today we are going to be counting down our list of the top 10 Kim Kardashian just purchased memes that made us cry laughing. Number 10. Obama's tan suit. Kim Kardashian has purchased Obama's tan suit for $500 million, TMZ reports. Now for some background, on August 28, 2014, Obama held a press conference about the situation regarding a hate group in Syria and how the US military was planning to respond to it. At the conference, Obama said that the US had yet to develop a plan regarding the removal of the group and talked extensively about his concerns in the region. Now during this conference he wore a tan suit, which up until that point was uncommon for Obama to do. The light colored suit was seen by conservative media outlet Fox News as inappropriate due to the subject matter. There was significant backlash from some conservative circles as Republican Representative Peter King of New York called Obama's wearing of the suit while talking about the economy instead of the
hate group unpresidential and stated that there's no way I don't think any of us can excuse what the president did yesterday. I mean, you have the world watching. According to Justin Sink of The Hill, most people viewed Obama's fashion choice to be a mistake. Conservative critics of Obama joked about the tan suit, making a play on words of Obama's "yes we can" and the audacity of hope phrases into "yes we tan" and the audacity of taupe. In general, the suit received mixed reviews from a fashion perspective, so I'm not too sure if Kim would actually buy this. Number 9. Hilaria Baldwin's fake Spanish accent. Kim Kardashian has purchased Hilaria Baldwin's fake Spanish accent for $97,600. This includes Hilaria Baldwin's fake heritage scandal from 2021. Hilaria is a yoga instructor, entrepreneur, podcaster, and author. She was also the co-founder of a chain of New York-based yoga studios called Yoga Vida. She's married to Alec Baldwin and has 7 children. Now, back in 2021, several of Hilaria's former classmates came forward to confirm that she was raised in Weston, Massachusetts by American parents without a hint of a foreign accent. The woman who first exposed the fraud later told the New York Times that it was an open secret in Manhattan that Hilaria had faked her heritage and that she and her friends, bored from the pandemic, decided to finally expose the secret. In the next few days, several videos of Hilaria's past TV appearances resurfaced showing her commitment to a Spanish accent. In one now infamous Today Show video that surfaced, Hilaria apparently forgot the English word for cucumber. After her American heritage was exposed, she apologized and said she should have been more clear about her connection to the Spanish culture. Ren-era Targaryen crown. Kim Kardashian has posted Ren-era Targaryen crown for $500,000, TMZ reports. I hope I'm saying those names right. I've never seen Game of Thrones. This is a Game of Thrones related, as it has to do with the character portrayed by Millie Alcock and Emma Darcy. The crown is the same crown worn by her father, the late king Viserys, smuggled out of the King's Landing after the king's death and brought to Ren-era. The geometric two-toned crown features the House Targaryen sigil front and center and other smaller symbols around it on the sides. The symbolism here is crowning Ren-era with Viserys' crown emphasizes that she was the chosen heir. The crown also ties back to the history of the Targaryen family. Previously, it was worn by her great-grandfather. Now, for people who aren't Game of Thrones fans like me, what I'm gathering here is that it's essentially just a special crown. Number 7. Doctor Strange's Cloak of Levitation. Kim Kardashian has purchased Doctor Strange's Cloak of Levitation, TMZ reports. Yes, Marvel characters are apparently real, according to this tweet. It seems as though Kim has bought Doctor Strange's cloak. Dr. Stephen Strange, MD, aka Doctor Strange, was once a brilliant but arrogant neurosurgeon until a car accident crippled his hands. When modern medicine failed him, he embarked on a journey to Kamar-Taj, where he was trained by the Ancient One. Doctor Strange serves as a sorcerer supreme, the primary protector of Earth against magical and mystical threats. The Cloak of Levitation is a magical relic wielded by Doctor Strange that is able to move and fly on its own power, enabling its user to levitate and hover in the air. It's one of the many mystical relics that was in the possession of the master of the mystic arts. Seems like Kim could get away with doing a lot of things with this cloak, so I think it's a good purchase. Number 6. Loki's horned helmet. Kim Kardashian has purchased Loki's horned helmet for $500,000, TMZ reports. Seems like Kim is really into the Marvel universe, as she's bought a second piece of clothing from them. The horned helmet was the helmet Loki wore during his time as Asgardian royalty and his crusades. Other variants of Loki also have their own helmet with a different shape. Now again, like the Game of Thrones crown, it just looks cool and symbolizes power, at least from what I understand. Number 5. Nicki Minaj's iconic pink chicken wing necklace. Kim Kardashian has purchased Nicki Minaj's iconic pink chicken wing necklace for $375,000, TMZ reports. Have you ever liked food so much that you actually wear clothes that pay homage to it? Well, Nicki Minaj did just that, but as per usual, the rapper is taking her own drastic approach to the trend by donning a hot pink chicken wing necklace. She showed up to the iHeartRadio Festival in 2011 wearing a pink sparkly outfit, a tutu skirt mini dress, pink rain boots, blonde and pink pigtails, and most importantly, the hot pink chicken wing chain draped around her neck. This piece of fashion has gone down in history with the barbs and is one of her most iconic pieces she's worn, so it only makes sense why Kim would want it. Number 4. The Poison. The Poison for Cusco. The Poison
poison chosen specifically to kill Kuzco, Kuzco's poison. Kim Kardashian has reportedly purchased the poison for Kuzco, the poison chosen specifically to kill Kuzco, Kuzco's poison. How much did she pay for it? No one knows. This is a line from the 2000s film The Emperor's New Groove. After being fired from her long-standing position, Isma becomes obsessed with killing the Emperor and taking his throne as Empress. She makes numerous attempts to do so with the aid of her former dim-witted assistant Kronk and an arsenal of madcap potions. This line is from a conversation with Isma and Kronk that goes, "So, is everything ready for tonight? Oh yeah, I thought we'd start off with soup and a light salad and then see how we feel after that. Not the dinner, you know. Oh right, the poison. The poison for Kuzco, the poison chosen especially to kill Kuzco, Kuzco's poison. That poison? Yes, that poison. Got you covered? Excellent." It's a funny comment made by Kronk that millennials like saying because it reminds them of their childhood, but I don't think Kim would buy actual poison. Number 3. The dress. Kim Kardashian has reportedly purchased the dress at auction for $750K. The dress, white and gold or black and blue. Dare I say more? The dress is a photograph that became a viral phenomenon on the internet in 2015. Viewers of the image disagreed on whether the dress depicted was colored black and blue or white and gold. The phenomenon originated from a washed out color photograph of a dress posted on Facebook. Within a week, more than 10 million tweets had mentioned the dress using hashtags such as #thedressed, #white and gold, and #black and blue. Although the dress was eventually confirmed to be colored black and blue, the image prompted much online discussion of different users' perception of the color of the dress. Members of the scientific community began to investigate the photograph for new insights into human color vision. Personally, I saw and still see white and gold. What color do you see? Comment down below. Number 2. Topher. Kim Kardashian has purchased Topher for a whopping $5.8 million. Now, for those of you who don't know, Topher rose to viral fame due to a TikTok posted by user AlleyCat03 on December 24th, 2022. In this video, AlleyCat03 interviewed members of their family, asking them which of their family member they would warn people about if they needed to introduce an outsider to the family. The first member interviewed says they would warn everyone about Topher. Next, viewers are introduced to Topher, who passionately declares, "Y'all already know who I am, my name's Topher and I think Olivia." Topher's confidence and unique delivery wowed the internet, and the video quickly went viral, picking up over 79 million views, 7.1 million likes, and 88,000 comments. Other users quickly jumped on the trend, making reaction videos, editing Topher into famous film clips, and posting Topher's declaration in the comments of other videos. Personally, I love Topher, and I think this is hilarious. And coming in at number 1 is the One Ring. Kim Kardashian has purchased the One Ring from Frodo Baggins for $87 million, TMZ reports. The One Ring, also called the Ruling Ring, is a central plot element in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. It first appeared in the earlier story The Hobbit as the magic ring that grants the wearer invisibility. The Lord of the Rings describes the Hobbit Frodo Baggins' quest to destroy the ring. The ring's primary power was to control the ring's power and domination of the wills of their users. The ring also conferred power to dominate the wills of other beings, whether they were wearing the rings or not, but only in proportion to the user's native capacity. In the same way, it amplified any inherent powers its owner possessed. A mortal wearing the ring became effectively invisible, except to those able to perceive the non-physical world with only a thin, shaky shadow discernible in the brightest sunlight. The ring extended the life of the mortal processor indefinitely, preventing natural aging, and Kim would love that. So I can definitely see her trying to buy this if she was ever given the chance.
Kim Kardashian has been in the spotlight for years and has had her fair share of embarrassing or awkward moments because, after all, she is still a human. From her many memeable moments to awkward interview questions all the way to a couple tantrums and pranks as seen on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have the Barbara Walters interview. While we have known and loved the Kardashians for years, we all remember well the controversy that really kick-started their journey into superstardom, and while it's been years since it happened, people still like to bring it up, sometimes even directly to Kim herself, which is sure to bring forth quite an uncomfortable moment. In 2011, Kim, Kris, Khloe, and Kourtney all sat down with Barbara Walters for an interview, and Barbara most certainly didn't hold back. During the interview, Barbara said,
"You are all often described as famous for being famous. You don't really act You don't sing. You don't dance. You don't have any, forgive me, any talent.
Okay, Barbara, a little harsh, don't we think? Chloe responded to the non-question by explaining that they're still entertaining people and that none of them think they have these talents that Barbara was asking about. Kim followed her up by saying, quote, "I think it's more of a challenge for you to go on a reality show and get people to fall in love with you for being you." After this, the conversation took an even more awkward turn when Barbara then brings up the infamous tape of Kim and asks her if she regrets making it. Kim was pretty calm and cool with her response, however, despite the awkward moment, and just replied with saying, quote, "I've made mistakes in my life for sure." In our number 9 spot today, we have the zip line. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, we saw a cute little family trip to Thailand, and we saw everyone go off on a fun adventure and go ziplining. I say fun, but it was clear that Kim was not having fun. While up in the treetops, Kim begins to regret her decision and urges Chloe to go first, which she does with no problem. This did absolutely nothing to calm Kim's nerves, and despite Caitlyn's words of encouragement, we'll call them, Kim has a meltdown and starts crying. At this point, Kim is kind of causing a scene, but those who are working the zip line explain to her that at this point it's a one-way ticket kind of deal. I mean, I'm afraid of heights and falling, I get it, but there's one pretty quick way to get down. Just go. Kim later chalked up her emotional moment to thinking that instead of doing this activity, she should have been with her daughter, but others have called out this claim, saying that she often plays the quote mom card. What do you guys think about this? Do you think she has a point, or was she just trying to brush off her dramatic moment as something else? In our number 8 spot today, we have the meme. Kim has had a ton of memeable moments. In fact, her face has been made into some of the most memorable memes that are out there, and while the infamous crying face meme is probably the most famous of all, the most awkward one is definitely that Yeezy shoot one. People compared Kim lying on a bed wearing a pair of Yeezys in the most awkward, uncomfortable pose to almost everything they could think of. A Toy Story outtake. Quote, "When you're told not to be dramatic." The chalk outline from GTA. Seriously, everything you can think of. I mean, it's all in good fun, and seriously, upon seeing it, how could you not? In our number 7 spot today, we have Thanks for the Memories. Remember when Kim was in a Fall Out Boy music video? Just months before the launch of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim starred in the video for the band's iconic song, Thanks for the Memories. This video was of course from a time before Kim was as famous as she is now, but of course she was still majorly in the public eye. Aside from the entire video just being very early 2000s and hilarious to look back on, Kim is also seen in the video hanging out with a bunch of chimpanzees who also star in the video, which is so exceptionally random, not to mention how one of them is trying to charm her. That's just a bizarre music video plot, to be perfectly honest. This is a moment in time that likely makes Kim cringe a bit as she looks back, but it also seems like it might be a pretty fun memory as well. A little lighthearted cringe moment from 2007. We all have them. In our number 6 spot today, we have Surf's Up. This awkward moment from Kim is coming to us in the form of a tweet that she sent out all the way back in 2010. While the tweet is just bizarre, especially considering the image of herself she likes to keep now, it also makes me laugh so hard every time I read it. The tweet reads, "Cowabunga, dudettes. I'm so pumped to be on this surfing kick. Who else surfs out there? Gnarly day in the H2O, riding waves." This is definitely a very random tweet, but also most of the replies to it are coming from 2015, so maybe it took 5 years for this tweet to blow up like it absolutely deserved to. In our number 5 spot today, we have the Prince concert. Kim has had many iconic moments over the span of her career, but one of the most iconic and uncomfortable was when she was invited up on stage by the late, great Prince. While Prince is known for being one of the best musicians to have ever lived, he isn't someone who is known for messing about, and he definitely was known for telling it like it is. Also, when at a Prince concert, if he asks you to dance, he really means it. That is why it really wasn't all that surprising when he invited Kim up on stage at one of his concerts and she wouldn't dance, and then he proceeded to kick her off the stage. Maybe it was nerves, maybe it was the outfit and the sky-high heels, but whatever it is, Kim kind of froze when he invited her up. This This most definitely was a little uncomfortable to watch. Just like many of these scenarios, Kim didn't take herself too seriously, and by the end of the show, she was up there dancing with a whole group of people. In our number 4 spot today, we have the prank. Remember when Kim was toying with the idea of eating her placenta after giving birth and her family made her feel bad about it? If you remember this, then you likely also remember the aftermath. Kim and Courtney, who was the only one who understood where Kim was coming from, decided to team up and play a little prank on the rest of the family. They cooked up a piece of meat, had everyone try it at dinner one night, and then revealed to them that it was placenta. In reality, it was just some beef, but the look on their faces is truly priceless. Is this prank disgusting? Kind of. Is it also hilarious? Definitely. In our number 3 spot today, we have the flower attack. Back in 2012, Kim was celebrating the launch of her, at the time, brand new fragrance, True Reflection, at an event which was meant to benefit the charity Dress for Success. During this event, as Kim walked down the carpet, an angry anti-fur protester walked up to her, yelled something at her, and then threw a bag of flour at her. At this point in time, Kim was coming under fire from PETA for wearing real fur clothing, which is likely what fueled this angry person's rage. This is definitely more awkward and uncomfortable for the person who chose to act this way, and they were especially lucky about how calm and cool Kim was about the entire thing. The protester was detained by hotel security shortly after the incident, but was released when Kim declined to press charges. Kim simply just dusted herself off and returned to the event. While a representative for PETA told TMZ that they weren't involved in the attack, they also issued a statement of support for the protester, saying that, quote, "whoever threw that flower may reach her when our polite appeals did not." I'm like all for not using fur, but like, we don't have to assault somebody, you know? In our number 2 spot today, we have KKW Body. Back in 2018, Kim was releasing her newest fragrance called KKW Body, and when the bottle was released, things quickly became controversial. For the design of the bottle, Kim used a model of her actual body, and even went as far as to release photos of herself covered in a clay mold. Fragrance enthusiasts just couldn't help but to notice the striking similarities between her bottle design and that of Jean-Paul Gaultier's 1993 fragrance called Classique, which is also in the shape of a woman's body. To make matters even more uncomfortable, Jean-Paul even seemed to address the controversy on the brand's Instagram while uploading a photo of the Classique bottle with a caption that read, quote, "keeping up with the fragrance's news, #Classique, #Jean-Paul Gaultier." Kim acknowledged the accusations, saying that while she appreciates the bottle, she drew her inspiration from somewhere else, citing sculptures as the main inspiration. In our number 1 spot today, we have Turn It Up. Like in the Barbara Walters interview we already talked about, for years Kim has been accused of having no talent, which is pretty rude, but she definitely showed us that singing is off the table when she released her debut single in 2011. Jam, Turn It Up. Yes, not all of us will remember this, but she really did dabble in the music industry, and thankfully it didn't last long. That's not to be mean to Kim, even she'll acknowledge that it probably wasn't her best moment. Looking back on it, she says, quote, "I can't even hear my voice. The things I've done are so embarrassing." The single came about when Kim was living in New York and was approached by The Dream. She was of course reluctant at first, but with a push from her then just friend, Kanye West, she took the leap, and we are left with an absolute masterpiece. Kim donated all of the proceeds from the song to charity and has said, quote, "It's definitely a memory and it was a fun experience, but if there's one thing in life that I wish I didn't do, I don't like it when people kind of dabble into things they shouldn't be, and that I don't think I should have. Like, what gave me the right to think I could be a good singer? Like, I don't have a good voice." There is nothing better than when Kim laughs at her own past decisions. I love when we can all just join in on the fun together.
The Kardashian family have been on television for 13 years before their show came to an end. Throughout this reality series, we got a sneak peek into the lives of this wealthy and powerful family, which means they caught several times that Kim Kardashian specifically had public meltdowns. In at number 10, the diamond earring. While on vacation in Bora Bora, Kim created one of the most iconic lines on the show. After Chris Humphries tossed her into the ocean, Kim soon realized that she had lost one of her earrings. She immediately began began sobbing after losing the $75,000 diamond earring, which gave way to Kourtney's big line of, "Kim, there's people that are dying." When the Kardashian family celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Keeping Up with the Kardashians in September of 2017, Kim explained why she got so upset about losing the earring in the ocean. During the interview, she said, "Okay, can I explain that earring? For years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present, and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs, worked really hard." Then after Khloe questioned her on whether or not the story was relatable, Kim continues by saying, "I mean, it's not relatable, but it's what I went through, and it's why I was crying, so I'm just being honest. They were $75,000 probably or more, but I don't have them anymore, so no one come look for them. Anyways, I had just gotten them and I didn't insure them, and imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw that money away." In at number 9, the Paris robbery. While appearing on My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, Kim told Dave that she feared for the worst when the robbery was taking place in Paris. Her and her sister Kourtney had traveled to Europe to attend the Paris Fashion Week, and Kim noted during the interview that Kourtney had packed up all of Kim's jewelry for the trip, which according to her was something that she had never really done before. Kim then went on to explain that on the evening of the attack, Kourtney had left the hotel with her only bodyguard, which left Kim completely alone in their suite. Kim recounted that terrifying experience and said that around 3 o'clock in the morning, she remembered hearing stomping on the stairs. To her, it sounded as if a group of people were inching closer and closer to her room. Something about the noise instantly made her feel like someone had broken in though. So with every second counting now, Kim quickly grabbed her phone to dial for help. Although shortly after, the gang of intruders did indeed violently make their way into her hotel room and specifically demanded that she hand over the ring that Kanye West had just purchased for her. They ended up escaping with more than $10 million in jewelry that included her $4 million engagement ring given to her by Kanye West. An appropriate time to have a public breakdown. In at number 8, Rob avoids wedding. It's no secret now that Rob Kardashian didn't attend Kim and Kanye's wedding ceremony in Europe, but what most people don't know is why and what the fallout from this was. When the family first flew to Paris and then Italy to see Kim and Kanye tie the knot, Rob initially went to Paris but then decided to turn back and go home because he didn't want to be in the public eye. This really upset Kim when she received the email from Rob sharing the unfortunate news with her. Kim went on to say that she and Rob are close, but that Rob's struggles with his weight and depression had caused somewhat of a rift. She went on to say, "I'm definitely a tough love kind of person. If I don't like something that's going on in my life, I change it and I don't sit and complain about it for a year." So clearly she was upset. In number 7, plastic surgery accusations. Kim Kardashian first hit the public eye when she worked as Paris Hilton's assistant, but her show Keeping Up with the Kardashians brought her into a brand new world of fame and fortune. The way her look has changed over the years has led many to believe that Kim got plastic surgery somewhere along the way. Although Kim has always insisted that people have confused her contouring with plastic surgery. While speaking with Elle magazine, she said, "I'm really into strobing now, so just highlighting the skin without using bronzer. I love contouring and I don't think I'd stop contouring my nose. I know people think I've had a nose job, but it really is just makeup." Even after she gave birth to her first child, people assumed that she had surgery to help her lose the weight. Kim blasted people online for trying to say this and tweeted out, "I am very frustrated today seeing reports that I got surgery to lose my baby weight. This is false." In at number 6, Taylor Swift. After Kanye interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech, the two apparently talked it out and then said that it was all water under the bridge. However, when Kanye West dropped the track called Famous that had a lyric directed at Taylor, the feud reignited. Kanye and Kim claimed that Taylor had given them permission, but Taylor claimed that she actually never knew what the line was and therefore didn't give her consent or blessings. Following that whole debacle, Taylor began her Reputation tour, and for many performances she literally sang her songs next to a giant robotic snake. Which is essentially saying, I know what the truth is, and if you want to call me a snake, that's fine, I'll just embrace that cloud and be bigger from it. Kim made the situation even worse though when she decided to leak a snippet of Taylor and Kanye's private conversation to her Snapchat. This led to a massive spike in social media attacks against Taylor Swift that she says forced her into hiding for nearly a year. Around March of 2020 though, a new piece of evidence was brought up that seemingly proved that Taylor Swift was telling the truth about not wanting Kanye to use her name in the song. And number 5, sister fight. During a season 18 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim and Kourtney's issues with each other hit a breaking point. When Kim accused Kourtney of not caring about things, Kourtney snapped back at her with some very threatening words. She then pushed Kim to the ground, which led to Kim threatening to punch her own sister in the face. Immediately the meltdown began as both sisters started to grab and hit each other until Khloe stepped in to break them up. This was a real meltdown as well that resulted in production needing to be stopped for a week just so that both parties could clear their heads. Shortly thereafter, Kourtney announced that she was stepping back from the show. In number 4, the Ray J tape. Kim is no stranger to the fact that this infamous tape is the reason she was introduced to the world. Keeping Up with the Kardashians even premiered on E! Just a few months after it was released to the public. In a June 2012 interview, she said that while she felt humiliated, it only made her work 10 times harder to get people to see the real her. The tape from 2007 almost immediately went viral, and although Kim tried to fight the release of it, she ultimately settled on using the publicity to promote her family show. But needless to say, she was still very upset by it all. In at number 3, Kris Humphries. The tumultuous relationship between Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries will live in infamy in the archives of Keeping Up with the Kardashians as one of the quickest marriages ever. The beauty mogul and NBA star didn't even know each other for a full year before deciding to get married. Many years later, Kim would even confess that she felt pressure to get married, and that is why she moved so fast with Kris. After about 6 months of dating, Humphries proposed, and it was all captured for an episode of Kim's show, with the wedding taking place just 4 months later. Despite all of that pressure to get married though, Kim ultimately decided to follow her heart, and after 72 days of marriage, she filed for divorce from Humphries. Things got really messy too, because Kris was continuously claiming that the whole marriage was simply a publicity stunt, which many didn't put past the ever so cunning Kardashians. In number 2, the divorce. During one episode, the family took a trip to Lake Tahoe, which is where footage shows Kim breaking down into tears as she spoke about her marriage to Kanye West. If you recall, the reality star filed for divorce from Kanye West after nearly 7 years of marriage. In addition to that, they also had 4 kids together. Now, before they began talking about the divorce, Kim started expressing outrage over there being cookies in the vacation home. She says to Khloe that she asked for them to not bring those cookies because she gained 15 pounds, before adding, "I'm going to throw them in the toilet, I cannot eat them and I'm not joking." When Khloe tries to lighten the mood and say that it's not the cookies' fault, Kim responds that she just wants to go into a room and never come out. During an interview with just the producers, her sisters let viewers in on what Kim has been going through. Khloe goes on to say, "Kim has been struggling privately behind camera about her relationship, and it's tough because Kim is clearly redirecting so much of her frustration and sadness and anger. Sometimes you just take things out on something that has nothing to do with what you're going through." And right before the family had left for this trip, Kim also said that she and Kanye had just had a big fight. Coming in at her number 1 spot, Wyoming breakdown. After flying to Wyoming to hopefully fix things with Kanye, Kim broke down into tears again and said, "I honestly can't do this anymore. Why am I still in this place where I'm stuck for years? Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be together so I can raise the kids, you know?" Even in saying that though, she did add that Kanye was still an amazing dad, but that he deserves to be with someone who can support his every move, adding, "I think he deserves someone that can go support his every move, go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything." That being said, it's not like Kim didn't try to be there for her husband. Kanye suffers from bipolar disorder, and so Kim has been a vocal supporter of him, even asking social media to show him compassion and empathy after he began posting strange things on Twitter. Several months before their divorce though, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians film crew caught a moment where Kim tells her sisters that she feels like a failure. Because this was her 3rd failed marriage, she said that it makes her feel like a loser. But even though this pervasive thought is always coming up, she said that she can't think like that because she wants to just be happy.
From getting booed to get off the stage during a live Netflix event in front of thousands of people, to editing out the unhappy fans that were yelling at her, and having people hate her for wearing a corset so tight that she could barely breathe, it seems like the general public has finally decided to turn on Kim Kardashian. Now all aboard the Kim Kardashian hate train, because the year isn't even halfway over and there's a lot that needs to be covered. Now, as a Swiftie, I've been waiting for Kim Kardashian to get her karma, and it appears that she's been getting it in the last couple of weeks. Let's start by talking about her segment of Tom Brady's roast. The roast, which aired live on the streaming service Netflix on May 5th from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, is now missing some notable footage from when Kim first took the spotlight. Live viewers couldn't miss the crowd's boos after host Kevin Hart introduced her, but the version currently available on Netflix, Kim is greeted exclusively by applause. For a very special toast, right? This toast has come from somebody worthy of a moment as such, a special friend and a special lady, Kim Kardashian, Kevin said. As Kim makes her way to the stage, the audience's only audible reaction is applause, as it was in the original broadcast. "Thank you so much, Kevin," she says in the edited version, as she then makes a joke about his height. But that's not what happened in real life. In the live broadcast, when Kim made an earlier attempt to deliver that first joke, it was interrupted by significant booing from the crowd following the initial applause. After saying, "I know a lot of people make fun of your height," she looked away from the teleprompter with irritation. All right, she said, as Kevin chimed in saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Now, on Netflix, the roast includes a message that says, "edited from a previous live stream," but why would they take out the booing though? People who saw the stream live knew what happened and were already talking about it online. It wasn't a secret. And them editing it actually just made it an even bigger deal. Also, why was Kim even invited to an event like that? Reps for Netflix and Kim did not immediately respond for comments, so we may never get the answer. Now, it seems like Kim likes editing out things that make her look bad though. Cough cough, the Taylor Swift and Kanye West phone call. But hey, that's none of my business. Then there was the controversy at the Met Gala. Now, is it really a Met Gala if Kim K doesn't stir up some controversy? No, I don't think so. And this year, she was clocked for two things. First was for unattainable beauty standards. Kim was wearing a silver John Galileo corset-style dress that cinched her waist to an impossible degree. Like, it was so tiny, I don't know how she was even able to breathe. Now, one photographer shouted, "Your waist is crazy" at her, and indeed it was. But throughout the night, she was looking distinctly uncomfortable. Now, the still shots from the evening may be glamorous, but the reality looks painful. Her waist had been pulled in so tight that her vital organs looked like they had been displaced. Like, it wasn't normal or natural. Now, she was actually having so much trouble moving that she needed assistance walking up the iconic gala steps. In a video posted to Vogue's YouTube channel, Kim revealed that breathing while wearing the look is an art form. "But I got it," she said, as assistants tightened the corset behind her. I'll feel so snatched, I won't even be able to communicate to you how snatched I feel," she said breathlessly. Now, on social media, many fans were not impressed with Kim's trim waist. "This extreme look sends all kind of wrong messaging," wrote one person on Twitter. Now, the look itself actually could have been dangerous. Depending on how much the waist is restricted, corsets can lead to difficulty breathing and fainting. In addition, compressing the organs in the abdomen can harm digestion and lead to the muscles in the back to atrophy. Now, long-term corseting can deform the rib cage. Then there was the cardigan with her look. She noted that her controversial cardigan, meant to evoke the idea of running out the door and grabbing her boyfriend's sweater, was intentional. "It's like the real life me when I go to an event and I have to make it home by 6 AM to get carpool. Real life happens." But some fans suspect she wore it as a dig to Taylor Swift, as Taylor wrote a song blasting Kim on her most recent album. Not to mention the fact that Taylor sells cardigans as a piece of her merch, and fans were quick to point out the similarities and make jokes. Now, so much has happened with Kim the last couple weeks, and we're not even halfway done the year. I'm sure there will be many more scandals in store for us.
Kim Kardashian just got humiliated on live TV at Tom Brady's Netflix roast. As soon as she opened her mouth, the whole crowd was booing her so badly she couldn't even get a single word in. Even Tom Brady himself was not afraid to take some unbelievable jabs at Kim in her feud with Kanye. It was honestly so bad that Kim might have to hide her face in the public eye until some of this has blown over. Now, obviously we know that every celebrity who agrees to take part in a roast is going to be ridiculed mercilessly. It doesn't matter if you aren't the star of the show, every roaster who appears on stage is going to have their whole life dissected in the worst ways imaginable. Now, we should start off by saying that Kim was incredibly brave to agree to do this because, let's be honest, her whole life was provided a ton of ammunition for some very crude jokes. Obviously, fellow roasters like Jeff Ross wasted no opportunities to tee off on the reality star, but the jokes she faced weren't even the worst part of the night for her. As soon as she arrived to the venue for the big night of laughter, you could see that Kim was already looking a little bit tense. She turned up with her friend and business partner Tracy Romulus, and people could already see that Kim was visibly nervous. There have been so many lowlights over the years for the roasters to use as cannon fodder, but it was actually the audience that really stunned the reality star. As soon as Kim walked up on stage to begin her own roast of Tom Brady, things took a pretty unexpected turn for her. Kim started getting into a joke about the host of the night, Kevin Hart, when she was interrupted by a chorus of boos from the audience. They were so heavy that Kim actually had to pause for a moment to take it all in. She managed to break out a little smirk and seemingly shrugged off the heckling, but you could tell it definitely affected her. Credit to where it's due though, Kim didn't falter and continued on with her whole set. She actually had some pretty funny jokes as well and sort of turned the crowd a little bit back in her favor. She addressed some of the old dating rumors surrounding herself and Tom Brady and gave a pretty funny explanation for why it would never happen now. Kim pointed out that Tom Brady is an ex-athlete with high cheekbones and silky hair who now reminds her of her own stepdad, Caitlyn Jenner. She also stated if they were ever dating, she wouldn't even need to tell anybody, she'd just release another tape. Kim also pointed out that it was hard to watch people roast Tom, but she stated that enough of her family members have already defended former football players. Of course, we all know who her late father Rob Kardashian was defending back in the 1990s. So Kim did manage to hold up well while she was on stage herself, but how did she fare while she was taking heat from her fellow roasters? Well, obviously she was a focal point for many jokes throughout the night. Nothing from her life was safe from being made fun of, and some of the jokes were just too brutal for us to even repeat on here. With people like Jeff Ross and Andrew Schultz up on stage, you just know that lines are going to be crossed, and everyone has to be prepared for some of the nastiest jokes you are ever going to hear. Every time someone directed their attention towards Kim Kardashian, you could see that the reality star was visibly uncomfortable. Jokes are made about her past relationships and some of her family issues, and she would just have to nod and smile and pretend that it didn't bother her. But one of the jokes that really stood out to everyone was provided by none other than Tom Brady himself. As soon as Brady mentioned Kim's name and looked directly at her, you could already see that Kim was a little bit nervous about what he was going to say. Brady could have selected any embarrassing moment from Kim's life to put on blast, but he opted for a much more recent few that really hit close to home. He did applaud Kim for showing up and admitted that it was brave of her to attend the roast, but not for the reasons you would probably expect. Tom stated that Kim was terrified to be at the roast, but it was because her little ones were at home with their dad. Well, you can see that one definitely ruffled some feathers on Kim. Of course, she kept up appearances on camera and just shrugged it off, but everyone was pointing out how uncomfortable she looked and probably felt. The long documented breakup and ensuing feud between Kim and Kanye has been very well documented. We all know that Kanye took a very strange turn in life after that breakup, and his character and mental state have been brought into question ever since. So when that sort of a feud is made fun of, you can tell that Kim really wasn't enjoying it, especially since her little youngsters were also mentioned. The fact that the joke got a massive round of applause and a standing ovation from some also reminded Kim that the audience really didn't like her. Of course, it was also a massive dig at Kanye, who still manages to be the center of attention at an event he's not even attending. The whole thing was just a really bad night for Kim. It was probably a very rude awakening for her that she might not have as many fans as she thinks. Now, once again, these roasts are pretty much open season for everyone who attends, and the roasters need to be prepared to face some of the nastiest jokes they will ever hear in their life. People are not afraid to go well over the line, and it wasn't even Kim who was uncomfortable with some of the jokes. Even Tom Brady himself had to stand up at one point and give Jeff Ross a stern warning about one of his jokes. Ross was taking plenty of shots at the New England Patriots, but the one that sent Brady over the edge was a remark he made about Robert Kraft's special massages. Maybe some of the roasters were told ahead of time that Robert Kraft was off limits, but if you watched any of these roasts in the past, you'll know that Jeff Ross just doesn't care. You could cut the tension with a knife after that one, so perhaps Kim was at least able to see that she wasn't the only uncomfortable person in the room. After the roast had concluded and everyone made their way towards the exits, viewers once again noticed that Kim seemed extremely uncomfortable. She managed to shrug off the jokes during the night, but it was so obvious that some of them really struck a chord with her. Whether it was anything to do with her past relationships, family drama, or her ongoing feud with Kanye, you could tell that she was very, very upset. But the one thing that undoubtedly affected her the most was the booing. She might have been able to prepare herself for some of the nasty jokes she was going to hear, but having an entire room full of important people tell you how much they dislike you is pretty tough for anybody. There have been some pretty controversial people who have attended these roasts over the years, including far-right commentator Ann Coulter, and even she wasn't booed as badly as Kim. It's really anyone's guess if Kim will ever agree to be a part of another roast again, but we wouldn't be surprised if this was her last. Another appearance will only be another bad wake-up call that's filled with a ton of nasty jokes and a chorus of boos from a very loud audience. But maybe she'll actually surprise us and make another roast appearance in the future. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next for Kim after this rather embarrassing night.
Kim K's infamous ugly crying face has become an iconic meme on the internet. This memorable facial expression made its debut in the early 2010s on her reality TV show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. One of the most notable instances was during season 2 of Kim and Kourtney Take New York in 2012, when she was in tears over her marriage to Kris Humphries, which lasted 72 days. This particular moment quickly became a widely circulated GIF and reaction image due to its hilarity. But the face made a reappearance during season 4 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kim emotionally discussed her late father. Despite the heartfelt nature of her crying, the face had the unintended effect of adding humor to the moment. It resurfaced again when she famously lost her earring in a Bora Bora pool, a story we'll explore further down the list. These instances serve as reminders that Kim's emotions, whether sincere or dramatic, often become secondary to her very important public image. The release of Kim's intimate tape is a humongous part of her public narrative. While it undoubtedly catapulted her to fame, it remains a source of mixed emotions for her. She's expressed regret about it multiple times over the years. But the tape's exposure was a pivotal moment in Kim's life, one that garnered significant attention on the internet, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Even if you haven't seen the tape, you've likely heard about it, as it became a pop culture sensation, not just back then, but to this day. It serves as a strong reminder that not all paths to stardom are filled with pride and satisfaction. Instead, this moment in Kim's life highlights the dichotomy of fame, where a single incident can lead you to both fame and regret. Kim Kardashian's attempt to wear Marilyn Monroe's legendary dress to the Met Gala sparked global outrage. The dress was originally tailored to Monroe's unique body shape and was quite literally a garment of historical significance. Kim's decision to wear it to a modern event was seen by many as an act of disrespect towards an icon of beauty and fashion, and a slap in the face to Monroe's legacy. That's not to mention the subsequent damage to the dress, which includes lost gems, pearls, a split zipper, and broken stitches, which only added to the embarrassment for not only her, but those who had to tailor the dress for her. This situation underscores the importance of acknowledging the cultural and historical context of certain artifacts and fashion pieces. It's a stark example of what can happen when the pursuit of attention and shock value overshadows your respect for the past. Kim Kardashian's encounters with Anna Wintour, the highly influential editor-in-chief of Vogue, have been far from smooth, revealing the nuanced dynamics within the realms of both fashion and celebrity culture. One of the most notable interactions between the two was the controversial decision to feature Kim and Kanye on the cover of Vogue, which sparked considerable public backlash. In response to the criticism, Wintour utilized her trademark wit to address the situation. She suggested that continuously featuring tasteful celebrities on magazine covers could lead to monotony. This instance shows the deliberate provocations that often accompany decisions within the fashion and celebrity world, where calculated choices can stir both admiration and outrage. But that's not it. Another chapter in the Kim Wintour saga unfolded during Paris Fashion Week when Kim arrived at an event 50 minutes late and engaged in disruptive behavior. This occasion marked a display of indifference from Wintour, who appeared in photographs with her arms crossed and facing away from Kim. This shows a huge sense of disapproval and hinted at a lack of tolerance for Kim's interesting behavior. I mean, this is a celebrity of Kim's stature. This shows that it's a powerful reminder that not everyone within the fashion world is bedazzled by the cult of celebrity. Not even amidst the glitz and glamour of high-profile events, punctuality and decorum are expected, regardless of how famous you are. I mean, it shows that in the eyes of certain figures, like Anna Wintour, respect and admiration must be earned through actions and not merely granted based on celebrity status. I mean, it adds a level of authenticity to a world often associated with being superficial. The televised proposal of Kim K and Chris Humphries shows that it's a compelling case study that shows the intricate ways in which reality television can influence and script even the most intimate and personal moments in a person's life. I mean, this proposal was broadcast to millions of viewers as part of Kim's reality show, but it shows the extent of what these shows can orchestrate and manipulate into what would have been a deeply personal event. Humphries himself admitted that he initially envisioned a private and intimate setting for the proposal, one free from the intrusion of cameras and the pressures of a scripted narrative. However, the reality TV show machinery had different plans, pushing the couple to stage the proposal in a manner that would captivate and entertain the audience. This revelation came to light during their official divorce proceedings, where Chris divulged that certain scenes related to the proposal and wedding were not as spontaneous as they might have appeared. To Kim's dissatisfaction, her initial reaction was deemed less than ideal, necessitating the recreation of the proposal for a more dramatic effect. This shows what a fine line that reality TV treads between authenticity and scripted entertainment. It shows the pressure placed on individuals to conform to a narrative designed for ratings, often at the expense of their genuine emotions and desires. It underscores the challenges of maintaining a sense of reality in an industry where drama often takes precedence over genuine unscripted moments. Not even reality TV, but TV as a whole, the lines have been blurred between truth and entertainment. It's strategically rearranged to serve the demands of whoever's watching. The infamous flower bombing incident occurred during a red carpet event, which generated widespread headlines. However, it was later revealed that the whole incident was a completely organized publicity stunt. The Kardashians confirmed the planned nature of the event in their documentary, undermining the initial impression that Kim had been caught off guard. Her claim of ignorance and shock at the time, which she expressed as the craziest and most unexpected thing to happen to her, raised questions about the authenticity of the incident. In reality, her media team had discussed the event beforehand, ensuring that she was well aware of what would occur. The incident allowed her to make headlines for both her new perfume line and the flower bombing itself, highlighting how celebrity events are carefully orchestrated just to garner media coverage. Kim's venture into the realm of promoting diet-reducing candies shed light on her profound disconnection from the everyday realities of her audience. Her endorsement of these candies, which claim to induce a feeling of fullness and support extended periods of fasting, immediately ignited a firestorm of criticism and controversy. The episode which it was featured in became a poignant example of how a celebrity's actions can inadvertently perpetrate harmful societal norms and insensitivity to crucial health-related issues. Critics were quick to pounce on Kim's promotion of such products, arguing that her actions indirectly supported the toxic diet culture that has plagued modern society. By endorsing candies that promise to suppress hunger and enable prolonged fasting, she seemed to endorse behaviors that could potentially lead to eating disorders, which is a huge concern for public health. In an era where public figures are subject to heightened scrutiny, this instance underlines the glaring lack of sensitivity to the possible repercussions of one's endorsements. It is essential to acknowledge that Kim Kardashian's intentions might have been benign, but believing she was offering her audience a solution to their body issues and weight is a big problem. The episode as a whole underscores the importance of considering the broader implications of doing something that might be viewed as benign. Celebrities, knowingly or not, hold a position of influence that reaches millions of people. Therefore, their actions and endorsements can significantly impact societal perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors. This is a valuable lesson in understanding the evolving roles of celebrities in shaping societal perspectives. It highlights the immense responsibility that comes with fame and the need to exercise great care and consideration when using your platform to endorse products or promote practices that can profoundly affect the well-being and mental health of individuals. Kim Kardashian's dramatic reaction to losing her $75,000 earring during a vacation in Bora Bora became a memorable moment in her public narrative. The incident raised several questions, primarily concerning her choice to wear such valuable earrings during a tropical vacation. Wearing expensive jewelry in a pool, where the earring could easily be retrieved, appeared impractical to many. The incident's conclusion, with Kylie Jenner diving down 10 feet to recover the earring, adding a layer of potential fakeness to the entire episode. This instance showcases how Kim's lifestyle and actions often defy the expectations of ordinary individuals. It's a reminder of the lavishness of her life and the unconventional situations that result from it. It also shows the contrast between the experiences of the super wealthy and the everyday challenges faced by the majority. I mean, even small dilemmas can become larger than life spectacles with Kim Kardashian. In 2019, she found herself at the center of a firestorm of controversy when she attempted to brand her shapewear bodysuit as a kimono. This seemingly innocuous branding choice sent shockwaves through the public and was widely perceived as an act of cultural appropriation that demonstrated disrespect towards Japanese culture. Kim's decision to redefine a traditional Japanese garment, which holds deep cultural significance, struck a chord of discord and generated intense backlash. The backlash Kim faced was rooted in a widespread feeling of insensitivity and a disregard for cultural heritage. Accusations of cultural appropriation rang loud, and many felt that she was casually co-opting an integral part of Japanese culture for her personal gain. The global response to Kim's rebranding attempt was swift and vocal, with activists and the general public calling her out for her actions. This showed the potential consequences that celebrities may face for their cultural insensitivity. Ultimately, faced with mounting pressure and the undeniable public outcry, Kim Kardashian made the decision to rename her product line to Skims. This ended up being a positive for Kim Kardashian, as Skims recently partnered with the NBA, but it still demonstrated that individuals, even high-profile celebrities, can no longer act with impunity in a globalized world where actions and decisions have far-reaching implications. Kim Kardashian's controversial interview with Variety raised questions and anger about her remarks, which were perceived as hypocritical. She suggested that the best advice for women in business was to get up and work, seemingly disregarding the complex dynamics of the modern workplace. Her comments seemed out of touch with the realities faced by working women. She appeared to imply that women weren't already working hard. Her statement brought attention to the need for public figures to be mindful of their words, especially on topics as sensitive as gender and and labor. Recognizing the value of empathy and understanding the challenges that women encounter in the workforce is essential in a time when issues of gender equality and diversity take center stage in public discourse. Her subsequent public apology on Good Morning America reflected an awareness of the potential consequences of her statements and serves as a reminder that even celebrities can learn from their mistakes and acknowledge the impact of their words.